or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code WOR
and WAXQ HD2 New York.
From one disaster 16
years ago,
hopefully the most horrific thing that I'll ever have to witness in my life,
to another happening America will endure and unite as we always do. 710 WOR, an iHeart radio station.
It is 70 degrees at 1 o'clock good afternoon. I'm Lisa G. It was 16 years ago that time stood still here in New York City and in America when the World Trade Towers were attacked. And 16 years later, you can still feel the pain as the names of loved ones lost were read.
Richard Anthony Achetto,
Heinrich Bernard Ackerman,
Paul Aquaviva.
Today, we pause to remember those lost with a ceremony in Lower Manhattan.
It won't cost very much money. It just requires coordination from independent companies to start working together for the good of the community.
Schumer says the legislation could potentially save lives during emergencies, including hurricanes. I'm Sarah Lee Kessler for 710 WOR.
And your WOR Weather Channel forecast is coming up right after this.
Does how you feel interfere with your lifestyle? Take control before it does. Harvard Medical recently published a paper on how to decrease your risk of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and vision problems. The answer, backed by dozens of studies, is not viral. It's eating more fruits and vegetables and not whole, complete food. 4 simple steps that I've used with my patients over the years are: 1. Keep fruits and vegetables where you can see them every day. 2. Get crazy. Explore the flavors aisle and try something new. 3. Make it a norm. Try new recipes that include more vegetables and fruits. And the easiest of all, to get the complete nutrition
Soundbite number 3 standing by. Greetings, friends. Welcome back. Great to have you here. El Rushmo, documented to be. This according to the latest opinion audit by the Sullivan Group. Rancho Cordova, California, documented to be almost always right 99.8% of the time. Having more fun than a human being should be allowed to have. And we will be getting the phone calls in this hour. It's 800-282-2882. The email address, lrushbo@eibnet.us. Yes, everybody thinks that Hurricane Irma was it. It was the worst storm ever. Oh, my God. Well, Hurricane Andrew, 1992, a Category 5. The FEMA director said he didn't know anybody in Florida that has ever experienced a Category 4 or Category 5 hurricane. He may not know any, but there's a lot of people that did. Hurricane Andrew, 1992, Category 5, 145 knots. Somebody do the quick, what is the mile per hour conversion? Just asks. Okay, so it's about to be 160 miles an hour, 145. Hang on, let me just ask Siri. Convert 145 knots to miles per hour. I didn't get it on in time. Anyways, we were at 160 miles an hour. Hurricane Charlie in 2004, a Category 4, hit Florida. 2004, 13 years ago. And then there's Hurricane Irma this past weekend, 115 knots, 130 miles an hour, or 125. I think it was 130 at the center. It was a weak Category 4 when it hit Marco Island. So there are two stronger, and before 25 years ago, hurricanes at least as strong as Irma hit Florida in 1960, 1950, 1949, 1948, 1947, 1945, 1935, which was the big one, 1928, 1926, let me end up with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hurricanes before these three that I mentioned hit Florida that were at least as strong, if not stronger, than Hurricane Irma. Now, this is not to mitigate the damage that Hurricane Irma did. That's not my point here. We're talking about truth. We're talking about honesty in media. We're talking about people that are lying and making things up in order to create an emotional reaction that promotes groupthink and consensus and the acceptance of this agenda, when the facts clearly indicate that what they're saying isn't true. And that's the big problem I have, is not going along with the groupthink or the consensus and pointing all this stuff out. So it has to get mischaracterized. There's also a story here. This was at the Intercept. Now, this is a website that Glenn Greenwald works at. This Intercept website is where they spent a lot of time on Edward Snowden. Snowden was a participant, a collaborator with this website. I don't have an opinion on that, pro or con. I'm just identifying for you the website. It's and it's liberal and left wing. And there's a piece here by somebody named Naomi Klein. Irma will not wake up. Climate change denying Republicans their whole ideology is on the line. You see, it's the exact opposite. It is liberalism's ideology that's on the line. Who is it that's making all this stuff up? We're not. We're just living our lives, and every day we wake up and the left is telling us something else is going to kill us, that something else is going to damage us, that something else is the reason why government needs to grow, that something else is the reason why taxes need to go up, that something else is the reason why certain people need to be shut up. Every day we're hit with something. We cannot, all we do is spend our time defending things we believe in, which are under constant assault from these people, now including even the weather and the climate. It's not us trying to scare people. It's not us trying to do. We're just minding our own business. They are the people that make all these things up for the express purpose of advancing their agenda, and it's their agenda that depends on as many people as possible believing BS. And if you look at the end result of this, the political point in all of this is bigger government, global government, but bigger and more powerful government that punishes people who do not behave accordingly. The climate change thing has been especially brilliant because what they've done is blame you. Your barbecue pit, your SUV, your very way of life, particularly if your standard of living is increasing. If you are participating in progress, you are the problem. You're causing more CO2. You're causing more climate change. You're causing greenup. But you can be saved. You can be redeemed if you admit and then join others in condemning the very things that you've done. And then you agree that those people should be punished and that they can be redeemed if they go out and buy an electric car or if they vote for the next Democrat candidate or if they support massive government growth in anything, particularly in science. And everybody, I mean, who wants to be blamed for destroying the planet? I mean, nobody wants to be thought of as doing that. Who wants to be blamed for ruining the climate? So you're eager for absolution, and they offer it to you if you simply join them and vote the way they want for the people they want you to vote for and agree to massive expansion of government, which includes more government control of everything, because, of course, government will predict us. I actually think the media bias deniers are a lot more obvious and dangerous than climate change deniers. The people that deny media bias, the people say there isn't any, pose a far greater threat than people denying climate change. Here, grab soundbite number 3. Same guy from NPR, Bob Garfield. This is Friday, and I want you to listen how the misrepresentation, things that I never said, ends up being exaggerated and then spread way out there.
So desperate was he to find a conspiracy, the world's loudest Republican managed to find fault with commerce.
You have these various retail outlets who spend a lot of advertising dollars with the local media. The local media, in turn, reports in such a way as to create the panic way far out, which sends people into these stores to fill up with water and to fill up with batteries, and it becomes a never-ending repeated cycle.
Never mind the deaths, the ruined lives, the shattered economies, and the hundreds of billions of dollars of storm damage. It's all rigged, and you are all naive fools, just so you know.
And, of course, none of that did I ever say. I simply told you how the world works. And I showed you those hurricane model forecasts where they weren't going to hit Florida, and yet they created panic. And they run on water and other things in Florida with just the forecast. And by the way, even 2 days before, 3 days, they thought the east coast of Florida was going to get it, and it went up the west coast. But I was not criticizing commerce. I was explaining to people how things happen. He thought he had a big news item. They're big conservative, big pro-business, now criticizing commerce. That's how crazy they are to make their point. And, of course, he doesn't have the capacity because his mind isn't open enough to understand. They don't even listen. If somebody other than what they think speaks, it's automatically rejected. It isn't even considered. It's not factored. It just is automatically rejected and then ridiculed. And whoever says whatever they don't want to hear ends up the subject of an attempt to destroy, smear, or what have you. So that's essentially it in a nutshell. And again, I'm really reluctant. I asked a bunch of people what they thought about doing this, and I decided to go ahead and do it because I don't read social media and I don't spend any time on it. And as you know, as a policy, I ignore all of the stuff for 30 years that people have said about me. But I had somebody, Russ, this is the biggest smear yet. I mean, they're literally making up things that you didn't say and putting it out there, and then people are commenting on it, and it's feeding off of itself. Now, I don't expect this to change anything about that. I just wanted, you people in this audience are very important to me, and it's important that you know the truth about these things so that, should you find yourself in a position to, you can accurately and confidently respond and defend some of the garbage that these people are spewing. But again, it's not just about me. These people are destroying so many other elements of our lives and of our country by politicizing virtually everything, including those things which have always provided an escape for 3 or 4 hours from the humdrum and the daily back and forth of things that matter, such as sports and such as movies and such as entertainment. Now, in addition to all of this, a couple other things we want to get into. Hillary and her book, and some of the things that are being said in this book are just too juicy to pass up. And I haven't weighed into the full extent that I want to on Trump's deal with quote-unquote Chuck and Nancy, and what that means. What that portends is I don't think it's a one-off. I don't think it's just a one-shot thing that Trump did. I think there's potentially many more things like this that could happen, and I know the reason why, and that is that he is totally frustrated with the lack of apparent desire and apparent energy on the part of Republicans to advance any part of his agenda, which he won on. I mean, if there's a presidential candidate in recent memory who has a mandate, it's Donald Trump. Donald Trump, 5 rallies a day, and at every one of those rallies, he spelled out what he was going to do. And you know the drill. He was going to build the wall. He was going to repeal or replace Obamacare. He was going to cut taxes and things on trade deals. I mean, there's no mystery about what Donald Trump is going to do. And his own party is his biggest obstacle in his mind. And so he doesn't like sitting there not getting things done. And I'm told that he absolutely loved what they were saying on MSNBC after he did the deal with Chuck and Nancy. That he felt renewed, that he felt enthused. He felt, finally, I got something done here, and I'm getting praise for it, getting accolades for it. And somebody like Trump, that matters. It matters to everybody, actually. I mean, nobody wants to have things said about them that are said about Trump. But you talk about smears and lies. Guess what? It has also been leaked that Mueller doesn't have anything on the Trump kids and their meetings with the Russians. Nothing there. You have to look real hard to find that. I looked real hard and I found it. That's coming up. Bannon's interview on 60 Minutes. You know what I'm told they did? I didn't watch it. I don't watch 60 Minutes since I last appeared on it. But apparently they did some color things with his face to make him look darker red and his eyes appear to be watery and so forth. And the thought is that they deviled him up. You know, made him look devilish and so forth. Look, we know this happens. We know the media plays. Look at OJ. And the Time magazine. There's countless examples of that kind of distortion and lies in the drive-by media as well. Plus your phone calls, which I'm gonna make a stab at. I'm making sure we have time after this break to get to the phones. Coming right back, right after this.
We already know it. Recent polling proves it. America's most influential conservative voice, Rush, on the EIB network.
This is the Rush Limbaugh Show
On 710 WOR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Cox, owner of Blindster.com. That's BlindsTER.com. And I want to show you how easy it is to enjoy custom design and handcrafted blinds, shades, and shutters for less than you can imagine. I'm so confident you can install our blinds, I guarantee they'll fit. That's right. Even if you make a mistake, we'll remake the blinds in a different size free of charge. You only pay shipping. You have nothing to lose.
Visit Blindster.com today and save 40% on any order. Just use the code RUSH at checkout. BlindsTER.com.
Can you mow a yard, clean a house, haul off some junk? Then you can make extra money with the Tackle app. Tackle is an amazing new app that connects people who can perform small jobs with customers who need them done. Signing up is easy, so become a Tackle provider today. Go to Tackle.com to join. That's TAKL.com. As a Tackle provider, you can be your own boss, set your own hours, and make great money. Go to TAKL.com today.
Prices for gold, silver, diamonds, watches, and fine art are at an all-time high. Do you have any gold, silver, platinum, or graded coins? What about dollars of silver, Franklin mint sets, unique currency bills, and old stamp collection? The world-famous Plaza Gallery is now at 110 West 57th Street in New York City, right past the Russian Tea Room. Plaza Gallery buys all gold and diamond jewelry and watches including Rolex, Judaica, and Patek Philippe at the best prices. You can bring your items to Plaza Midtown Gallery at 110 West 57th Street for a free appraisal. Plaza Galleries can also come to your home, bank, or office to view your items immediately. If you have anything Tiffany, Cartier, or Buccellati, Plaza Galleries will give you the highest price. Plaza Galleries also buy sports memorabilia, fine art, and antiques, or sports cars prior to 1970. Basically anything of value. Call Plaza for the highest cash offer now at 212-246-2000. That is 212-246-2000. Or toll free 1-800-772-0054. Call and cash in now for record high prices.
Hi everybody, this is Tom Marinero, the president of Residential Home Funding Corporation. And boy do I have great news for you. Mortgage rates are finally back in the 3s. So if you own a home and have an interest rate over 4%, you need to call me right away and I will waive all of my lender fees. That's right, 0 lender fees for all WOR listeners. And you can even get cash out. So you have nothing to lose. Call me right away at 1-800-636-LEND. That's 1-800-636-LEND. Residential Funding has been serving the New York, New Jersey, and tri-state area for over 15 years. We have offices in Parsippany, New Jersey, and White Plains, New York. We are licensed by the New York and New Jersey Departments of Banking and Insurance, and our NMLS number is 34973. So again, pay thousands of dollars, but you gotta call me right now at 1-800-636-LEND. That's 1-800-636-LEND.
Glenn Diamond and Tom Smith in the morning. Tomorrow from 6 till 10 on WOR.
You're doing something there that's causing feedback here, and start the beginning here. What about canceling the conference?
Did you know that when a global warming conference causes a winter storm causes a conference to be canceled, only the scientifically illiterate would use anecdotal evidence. But when a storm occurs, it is valid evidence.
What?
It's valid evidence for global climate change.
We still got some crazy things happening on this phone line, but I think he mentioned something about a climate change conference canceled because of the snowstorm. Okay. Everywhere Al Gore goes for a climate change session, it usually has snow. It's actually one of the funniest things. But there are a couple stories along those lines. If this is what Bob's talking about. And this is from just 3 days ago. Net increase in Greenland ice mass. First time this century amid northern hemisphere cool down. And what happened here is a bunch of scientists were going up to Antarctica to study global warming, and they found more ice than they ever dreamed of, and they couldn't get to where they were headed. The same thing happens to a bunch of researchers 2 or 3 times going to Antarctica. And one of those expeditions got stuck in the ice, and then we had to send some icebreakers from Australia or somewhere down to rescue these people. The thing about this, these people believe this. This is what's stunning. They have no curiosity whatsoever. They believe the so-called consensus of scientists. And the people on the left, I mean, the worker beings, not the leaders, they don't question it. They just believe it. They don't challenge it. And even some of these scientists get caught up in all this. And actually respond and we have to rescue them. The National Snow and Ice Day.
Come on.
Foreseeing that overall, however, reduced melting and heavy early springtime snowfall may result in net increase in Greenland's ice mass this year for the first time this century. It's not supposed to be with climate change. The 2017 melt season has been less intense than recent years and is below average melting for the 1981 to 2010 reference period. Everything's out of whack. They believe it. They act on it. When they confront reality, they find out what they think is happening isn't. Sometimes they write about it. Sometimes you hear about it. Sometimes they don't. You remember, folks, back on January 25th, 2016, the New York Times, which these people consider a Bible, and which millennials consider a Bible, the New York Times predicted the end of snow. They were not joking. They were not. It was a standard everyday news story predicting the end of snow. January 25th, 2016. It's been nearly a year and a half since the Times published that article claiming the end of snow was upon us because